Alright, welcome back everyone. This video I'll be going over the air-to-air engagement. Okay, last video I went over bullseye calls. Um, so we're just left off directly from that video. Uh, so right here I have, sorry, select my FCR, DMS down. Right here I have some contacts on my FCR. Okay, so now I'll go over really quick just one thing, how to get to this point. Uh, for fencing in, you want your master arm on, and since we're engaging air to air, we will do air to air mode. This one is air to ground. Okay, so uh, all right. So a little bit about the HUD symbology here. Okay, so this circle represents air to air mode. Okay, anytime you see this circle, you're in your general air to air mode. Okay, now most most people will put MRM override, which is the medium range missile override mode, uh, and which is this on your HUD. Okay, and then also the DF override, which is dogfight mode. Okay, so that's represented by this HUD symbology. Okay, so if you see either one of these, you're in. Well, if you see this one, you're in dogfight override. And then this one can either be through air to air, or if I click it again, I go back to navigation mode here. And if I use MRM override on my joystick, I get to this. Okay. So a little bit of just in general about the HUD here. So you see that I am fenced in, arm. Okay. Uh, Down here, I have two MRM medium range missiles selected. Okay, you can see on the SMS page, I have two A120Cs, so that's the AM120C AMRAAM. Okay, below that, you saw in the last video, we have our own bullseye. Okay, um, and then just a general HUD symbology after that. Okay, so let's go ahead and just soft lock one of these guys, and I'll show you the change in the HUD. Okay, so you're going to put your cursor over them and just TMS up single time. And now you see the HUD has changed here. Oh, I just lost my lock. Okay. So now you see that the circle that was around your HUD is now in the center here. It's a small circle. And you see this little arrow at the top here. Okay, and then this circle with an X through it. You also see on the right here your range brackets, okay, with a caret and a number next to it. Okay, so starting with the circle in the middle. Okay, so this is the essentially like a release circle. Okay, so this circle will grow or shrink depending on the range you are to the aircraft. Okay, this the caret above it is the relative aspect of the enemy aircraft. Okay, so this aircraft you can see here on the FCR, it's in yellow and the line's coming down. Okay, so I have it soft locked and it's actually pointing at me. So their relative aspect to me is hot. Okay, so that's what this caret is representing. They have their nose pointed at me. Okay, if this caret was on the bottom, they'd have their nose pointed away from me, so they'd be cold, or on either side, they'd be beaming, or have either, if they're on the right, they'd be beaming, flying from right to left, and on the left here, they'd be flying left to right. Okay, this circle with the X through it is, I'm not sure the name, but you need to put this little circle inside the big circle to get launch authority. Okay, launch authorization. All right, so that's just telling you you're out of bounds. Like the missile is pointed in a direction where it can't track the target or it can't turn or something like that. But you'll see that once we get closer, this inner circle will get larger, and it'll be fairly easy to keep this smaller circle inside of it. Okay, so you also notice up here is our um, a gun cross up here. Okay, um, and the line coming off of it. Now this line is pointing directly at our contact. Okay, so if I hold DMS down long on my HMCS, you can see that that contact is right there, just outside of my HUD range. Okay, so that line points towards the contact when you have them locked. Okay, so I'll go ahead and turn my HMCS off. Okay, so up here you have your range cues. Okay, so this 920 with the caret next to it is the closure rate in knots. Okay, so we are closing at 920 knots. Okay, this can go negative. So if they're flying away from you and they're faster, you'll get a negative speed here, and you'll see this caret generally moving up towards the top of your HUD. And with the closure rate, it'll start coming down. Okay, so now talking about the range bars here. So you have this triangle here at the very top. Okay, that triangle represents the maximum theoretical distance of the AM-120. Okay, so in general, never fire at anyone if you're around this triangle here. Okay, that's purely theoretical distance, a non-maneuvering target. So maybe if you're a bad guy and shooting down airliners or something, that might work for you. But in general, for any aircraft in this game, it's not going to work. Okay, so this circle down here is where the probability of hitting the target gets a lot higher. Okay, so that circle represents the loft shot. Okay, so that would be a Fox 3 long shot. Okay, so that's um, uh, still fairly low probability of hitting the target. Okay, now once you get into this top bracket here, okay, that the top part of this bracket above this square represents the area where you will hit the target as long as it doesn't turn away and run from you. Okay, so they can maneuver a little bit in that, but generally, if they turn and run, they'll outrun the range of your missile. Okay. Now, if you want near, well, as sure as you can be, I guess, as far as hitting the target goes. If you fire when this caret is down in this box, that is um, that's the area where even if they turn and run, the missile still has the energy to catch them. Okay. So so that's the general HUD symbology for air-to-air BVR mode. Okay. I'll just go into dogfight mode really quick. You can see that I do have this target locked up. And when I switch to dogfight mode, you can see that my sidewinders immediately become selected and they are cooled. Okay, so warm sidewinders are bad, cool sidewinders are good. Okay, that deals with the seeker head. Um, I'll go ahead, well, I can't lock this target up. Um, there we go. Okay, you can see again here you have the line coming off of your bore sight or your gun cross here. Okay, if I turn my HMCS on, you can see it's there. Okay, and then just some things about dogfight mode really quick. Sorry, there's dogfight mode. So you have the line coming off, and the circle is generally pointing towards the target. You still get the box around the target, and the diamond is your sidewinder seeker head, trying to find that. Okay, so when you first start out in dogfight mode, you'll get this no radar at the top. Okay, you have your gun funnel, you have your sidewinder here, and then just this tells you the horizon line. You can see that I'm kind of my attitude is slightly left. So this is actually showing me the horizon here. You have your bullseye again, you're armed, okay, and then this tells you, well, I'm actually not quite sure right now. Your G's are up here, okay, so that is your dogfight mode. So we'll go back to MRM override and talk about the FCR symbology down here. So this T going left to right is your radar scanning left to right, okay, so that's where it's looking. This is the vertical scan. Okay, so I'm moving that up now using radar tilt, pushing it down, radar tilt again. Okay, so there's two main modes that you use, and they're up here. So RWS is range well scan. Okay, and you can see that it's scanning the entire breadth of your radar, uh, or as far as the radar can. Okay, and then if we go to click this until we get to TWS mode, you can see that it narrows. And what is happening here is essentially every target in this that it can see, that the radar can see, is being soft locked. Okay. Now you can TMS up, but the radar is actually tracking them. So TWS is track well scan. Okay, so it's tracking their relative aspect to us. So you can see here that it's a box with a line coming out the bottom. Okay, and I mean it looks like there's two of them there, but and you can see that when they go red, that means they're kind of falling off the radar there. But yellow means that the radar is tracking them. Okay, so now if I wanted to say I want to get a closer picture of this, I can go up here and click this and go to expanded mode. And now I can see that there are at least two aircraft in this. Okay, and then I can return by clicking that. Okay. So again, when we lock them up, we actually get the range symbology here. Okay. Let's see, up here it's trying to identify what type of aircraft it is, and usually by the time it identifies it, it's close enough for you to actually see it. Here we get our exact closure rate. Okay. And then let's see here. Yeah, so here is the target's bearing, and that is the target, like the direction they're pointing, and here is their speed. Okay, so he's at 330 knots. His bearing, like this is the direction his nose is pointing, is 110. Okay, you can see that down here, about 110. Okay. So that's about it. Again, we can see this bullseye position. Okay. Now, if I hard lock him, is TMS up one more time, you can see that everything, well, everything goes away here. We're just hard locked. And by the way, at this point, his RWR is screaming at him, telling him that he has a threat. So it's generally, if you do that, they might actually try to bug out on you. So but that's that. You can zoom in and out here, just like every like on your HSD as well. If we decouple this, yeah. So anything you can zoom in and out, it has the same symbology there. Okay. So the shortcut to TWS is TMS right long. Okay. And then to unlock the target, TMS down, soft lock them, TMS up once, hard lock, TMS up twice. And then one more thing, if I hold TMS up, I get this narrow band. Okay, so if I'm having trouble uh, locking up a target, I can use this narrow band so it updates the radar quicker. You can see that the radar is being just scanning a very small section of sky. Now just so you know, when I release that, it'll lock him up. So, as long as the cursor's over. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to get in a bit closer and go ahead and engage these guys. Another thing that happens is your radar is actually tracking someone each time it goes over them, and then as it moves away from them, it's anticipating where they're going to be next. So since I hardlock these guys, they might actually be maneuvering. So I can try to narrow that band down and try to find them. Okay, but it's not. So they could be maneuvering here, and I'm guessing that they are since I hardlocked them. So we'll just get a quick call again and see where they're at.
Dallas 1, Cowboy 1-1, request picture.
Okay, and
Cowboy,
he's dropped off their
1-1,
radar
Dallas,
as well.
1, picture clear.
Just going to continue flying at him. And just a note while we're here, you generally want to have, if you're above 10,000 feet, you want to be above Mach 0.8. Okay, and the reason is because Mach 0.8 is the corner speed for the F-16. Okay, so if you're above that, you can turn, lose some speed, and go down to Mach 0.8. But try to never get below Mach 0.8 in a combat situation. So I'm just trying to find these guys using all the means that I have. So my radar is searching from the ground, 0 to 45,000 feet. So I know that they have to be somewhere in there. Just call AWACS again.
Cowboy 1-1, request picture. Cowboy 1-1, Chalice 1, picture clear.
They were right on the edge there. So this is your attitude indicator. So if your head's down, you can see if you're facing left or right. But generally, this is so we're at 80 nautical miles is up here, and right here is about 40 nautical miles, halfway down. So they were right around here when I last saw them, and I'm assuming I'm going faster than them. So I'll close it up a bit. Back to 40 nautical miles, continue searching. Seeing if AWACS has them.
1-1, request picture. Cowboy 1-1, Chalice 1, picture clear.
They must have went through a wormhole or something. I'm sure they're there, but so there's a few possibilities. They hit the deck and are running away. So the ground clutter is getting in the way of my radar. Something happened when I unpaused the video. Or
Cowboy 1-1, Chalice 1, picture clear.
General radar problem. So now at this point, I'm getting pretty close, so I'll just try to search visually for them. If you have a zoom key on your keyboard, it helps, or on your joystick. I knew they were at 18,000 feet, which would be above me. I'm just measly 11,600.
Chalice 1, Cowboy 1-1, request picture. Cowboy 1-1, Chalice 1, picture clear.
Okay, I'll make another video and show you the engagement there. So you have all the knowledge of the FCR you really need, and all the everything you need to uh, know where you're at and know what you're doing with the HUD, especially that range cube. So in the next video, I'll show you the engagement and just some basic BVR tactics that you use after when you engage. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.